He's about to reach out. You can feel it. There's something different about the energy right now. You've felt shifts before. You've had moments where it got quiet, where it got intense, where it felt like something was about to happen. But this feels different. This doesn't feel like imagination. This doesn't feel like wishful thinking. This feels like something is building. And the reason you can't ignore it is because it's not just coming from you. There's a pull happening right now, and it's not one-sided anymore. He feels it too. That's why your body won't settle. That's why your mind keeps circling back. That's why even when you try to distract yourself, you feel him stronger. Not weaker, stronger. Because he's not pushing it down the way he used to. He can't. Something shifted in him, and it didn't happen overnight. This has been building for a while, quietly, underneath everything. Every time he thought about you and tried to ignore it, it stayed. Every time he told himself it wasn't the right time, it came back. Every time he distracted himself with something else, you still showed up. Not just in his thoughts, in his body, in his chest. In that feeling he doesn't fully understand, but can't get away from. And that feeling, it's getting louder. He's reaching a point now where avoiding you feels worse than facing it. And that's the turning point. Because for the longest time, it was easier for him to stay back, to wait, to think, to hold it in. But now holding it in feels like pressure, like something is going to break if he doesn't move. That's why you feel this urgency, that subtle but undeniable sense of something is about to happen. Because it is. He's getting closer to acting on it, closer to doing something instead of just thinking about it, closer to reaching for you instead of holding himself back. And you're picking up on that, not because you're guessing, not because you're hoping, but because you're connected to it. You always have been. That's why you felt him before he moved in the past. That's why you've sensed shifts before they showed up physically. Because the energy always moves first. And right now, the energy is moving again. But this time, it's not stopping halfway. He's not pulling back the same way. He's not able to disconnect the way he used to. You've probably noticed that. The feeling doesn't drop off like it used to. It doesn't disappear. It lingers, it stays, it builds. That's because he's not resetting anymore. He's progressing. Even if it doesn't look like it yet, even if there's still silence, even if there's still distance. Underneath that, something is happening. He's replaying things, moments, conversations, the way you made him feel. And it's not fading. That's the part he didn't expect. He thought time would dilute it. He thought space would make it easier. But it didn't. It made it clearer. And clarity is what leads to action. That's where he is right now. In that space where he can't deny it anymore. Where he can't label it as temporary. Where he can't convince himself it's nothing. Because it doesn't feel like nothing. It feels like something real. Something that stayed, even when everything else changed. And when something stays like that, it forces a decision. You either continue avoiding it, or you move toward it. And he's getting closer to choosing movement. That's why the energy feels like this. Not chaotic, not confusing, focused, directed, like it has somewhere to go. And where does it go? Back to you. That's the part you feel. That pull back toward you. That quiet knowing that something is aligning. Even if nothing has been said yet. Even if nothing has been done yet, you feel it because it's already in motion. And when something is in motion like this, it doesn't just stop. It continues. It builds. until it becomes action, until it becomes something physical, a message, a call, a moment where he can't hold it back anymore. And that moment, it's closer than it's ever been. That's why your intuition feels sharper right now. That's why the signs feel stronger. That's why your emotions feel more heightened, because you're sensing the edge of it. That exact point where everything shifts from internal to external, from feeling to doing, and he's right there, on that edge. You might even feel moments where it spikes, where suddenly he feels very close, almost like he's about to show up. And then it settles again. That's not random, that's him moving toward it, and then pausing, not stopping, pausing. Because this is big for him, this isn't casual. This isn't something he can just do without feeling it. This requires him to face everything he's been holding back, everything he hasn't said, everything he's been avoiding. But the difference now is, he's more afraid of losing this completely than he is of facing it. And that changes everything, because fear used to keep him still. Now it's pushing him forward. That's why you can feel it, that shift from hesitation to movement, from silence to almost. And almost doesn't stay almost forever. It turns into something. It always does. Especially when the energy is this strong. Especially when the connection hasn't broken. Especially when both people are still feeling it. And you are. You wouldn't be here, feeling this, if it wasn't mutual. That's the part people don't always understand. This level of intensity doesn't exist one-sided. Not like this. Not when it lingers. Not when it builds. Not when it keeps coming back stronger. That only happens when it's shared, even if it's not expressed the same way, even if it's not acted on at the same time. It's still there, on both sides. And right now, his side is getting louder, loud enough that it's about to break through. That's the moment you're in. Not the beginning, not the middle, the turning point, where everything that's been building starts to show. And when it shows, it changes things. Because once he reaches out, once he crosses that line, there's no going back to pretending it's nothing. There's no going back to ignoring it. There's only forward. And that's what you feel coming. That forward movement, that shift into something real, something tangible, something that finally matches the energy you've been feeling. So if you've been sensing it, if you've been feeling that pull, that knowing, that quiet but persistent feeling that something is about to happen, you're not imagining it. You're feeling him get closer, closer to you, closer to the truth, closer to reaching out. And when he does, you're going to recognize it instantly, because you felt it first.